Hello there, fans of the Supreme Duo channel. TAF108 here.
Hey guys.
Yep, he's actually present for one. And today we're going to be doing a video, which I suppose is a working title, which I'll make up right now. Dragon Ball Thoughts, the Super Saiyajin forums, and Dragon Ball Z Explained. Probably a bit wordy, I'll workshop it later.
What do you want me to say here?
I don't know. I was hoping maybe you had an alternative option I hadn't thought of yet.
No.
Well, this is going to be part of the next video series we're doing in preparation for our Ben 10 video that I told you guys about. And basically we're just going to be explaining the Dragon Ball, transformations for Saiyajin specifically, how they work, how they're achieved, maybe briefly going over the power boost they provide, that sort of thing.
We already went over at least one transformation power boost, supposedly.
And we'll get back to that later when we do GT, but right now we're doing Z, and this has been enough of an intro, so we'll just get into it. So the first form isn't really a form, it's just their base, not really much of an explanation needed here. It's a Saiyan's natural state.
Gi. It's when Zenkai Boost means the most. Yeah.
And that being said, yeah, it does come with its own array of abilities, quote-unquote, inherent to the race. Natural aptitude towards fighting, natural aptitude towards the use of ki.
A lack of knowledge of martial arts.
A natural aptitude and the desire to fight, that sort of thing. Warrior race, blah, blah, blah.
That's actually pretty weak.
And you can check out our video on that in the description box below. Shameless plug.
Moving on.
Alright, so next we're going in order of, power boosts in addition to order of, consecutive order, which you'll understand in a moment. So next we have Oozaru, which is a transformation also known as the Grade A transformation. This transformation is brought on by the exposure of roots waves, which are emanated by the sun reflecting light off the moon.
So, wait. It's the light reflected from the moon that gives these waves, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it is a transformation caused by the rays being absorbed into the eyes, causing a transformation in the Saiyan's tail, which then results in a 10 times boost in the Oozaru form, which is represented as a giant monkey.
Okay.
And the only way to achieve this form is to have a tail. There's another way to achieve it later in the series, but we'll address that later in the video. Or not later in the video, the future videos at a later date, which is something I should have established. Any quote-unquote retcons brought onto earlier transformations by later series will be addressed in later series.
Alright.
So that being said, there's not really much more to the Oozaru transformation, other than the fact that it requires some level of control, which seemingly Earthborn Saiyans like Goku and Gohan do not have. An Earth form for Goku would be a misdemeanor, he's just raised on it.
Yeah.
But that being said, we can move on to the false Super Saiyajin transformation.
False?
Yes, this comes from the Super Saiyajin transformation introduced by Toei, because they couldn't wait to see what Toriyama's official design, where obviously it was golden hair. They seem to have some idea of it. It's the form that was shown in the Lord Slug film, where Goku becomes incredibly enraged while fighting Lord Slug, and he transforms into what King Kai calls a legendary Super Saiyan. Of course, he has no context or idea what the transformation is, and it's basically just a golden version of Kaioken. That's how it's presented in that film.
That sounds cool.
And that being said, there's no real knowledge as to how this form is achieved, other than the fact that the form is seemingly achieved by a Saiyajin that isn't strong enough to become an actual Super Saiyajin, I suppose, or whatever. It was made by Toei, so obviously there's no real adequate explanation. There's also an explanation for how strong of a boost it gives. All we know is that it's stronger than the Kaioken of that film, which they never give a number for, so there's that.
That's good to know at least.
Moving forward, we have Super Saiyajin 1, or as it's known later, Super Saiyajin Grade 1, which is the form Goku achieves against Frieza on Namek and is the true form of legend.
Oh, yeah.
And this form is just like, this form is the one we know the most about. It gives a 50 times boost from the user's base. The stipulations for achieving this form is that one must have a calm heart and be awakened by rage.
Calm? I thought it was pure.
No, it's calm. It's just the purest.
Mistranslation?
Yeah. Calm, yeah. So yeah, Calm Heart. So there you go. That's how that transformation works. It's really the most basic one. At least there's to say about it. Appearance-wise, Saiyan looks exactly the same, except their eyes are now a greenish blue with spiked up golden hair. The degree to which the hair will spike will depend on the Saiyan's natural base hair state.
Yeah. I had to think about that one.
Moving forward, we have Ascended Super Saiyajin, as it's known in the fandom, or as its official name is titled, Super Saiyajin Grade 2, which is the bulked up form Vegeta uses against Cell. This form
Wait, I thought it was Gohan that used it against Cell.
Gohan uses Super Saiyan 2 against him.
Wait, so what's Super Saiyajin Grade 2?
Super Saiyajin Grade 2 is the buffed up form Vegeta used against Cell, as I just said.
Oh. I'm smart.
Yep, he pays attention very well. Anyway, this form was achieved through rigorous training, pushing the Saiyajin's body to newer limits and newer heights. This form is achieved, well, we've only seen it achieved by Vegeta, Trunks, and Goku. Though, theoretically, any Saiyajin who can transform into a Grade 1 can transform into a Grade 2, provided they put in the work and the effort. The actual boost for this transformation isn't known. All we know is that it's higher than, obviously, Grade 1.
This is one where we get really buff and become really slow in return, right?
No, that's actually the next one. Great segue. Ultra Super Saiyajin, or Super Saiyajin Grade 3, is the bulked up buff form that Trunks uses against Cell.
That was basically useless.
Yes, this is the form. It's actually a trademark of a poor fighter. It's really just forcing out more ki than your body can handle, leading to a great increase in strength, but it does not boost all your stats as most transformations do, so you become too slow to hit your opponent. It's unknown exactly how slow you become. I always imagined that the Saiyajins just as fast as they were in their normal Super Saiyan state. They just didn't get any faster. So if the opponent has increased and you've attempted to increase to keep pace, you will no longer be able to keep pace because you're only as strong, not as fast.
Makes sense.
And moving on from there, we have Super Saiyajin Grade 4. Now it's important to note that the grades, while they're numbered, they don't necessarily go in line for one another. So for example, you can go directly from Grade 1 to Grade 4 without achieving Grades 2 or 3. And Grade 4, appearance-wise, looks exactly like Grade 1, with the exception that the user instead has more calm hair, I suppose you could say. The strands more evident. Beforehand, Toriyama had been drawing Super Saiyajin to have just be purely the white, quote-unquote, because it's a manga version of the Saiyajin's black hair. Instead, now he's adding lines, which adding more definition. In addition to this, they also have calm eyes. Their prerequisites for this form include training rigorously for around a year, teaching your Super Saiyajin state to become like your base state, creating a calm exterior, allowing their behavior to become similar to that of their base state, and essentially completely fundamentally changing how the Super Saiyajin state works. In addition to the calm demeanor, they also gain increased control over their stamina and ki.
That's pretty good.
Yep. It's a shame they dropped this concept later in the series, but we'll get to that in the future. That being said, this transformation being similar to the base state is a perfect segue into Super Saiyajin 2, or as it was known at the time, Super Saiyajin Grade 5.
What's that?
This is the transformation first achieved by Gohan against Cell. It is one of the most efficient transformations we're shown in the series. It brings back the bloodlust brought on by the original transformation, hence why the previous transformation required that the bloodlust be removed, so it can just come right back. This transformation is officially known as a 2x boost from Super Saiyajin, but it specifically would be a boost of 2 times for Super Saiyajin Grade 4, which we didn't mention, but there's a dispute among the fandom whether or not Super Saiyajin Grade 4 is actually any stronger than Grade 1. Some people say that it is. Some people say that it isn't. It's the exact same strength, just with great ki control. I'll let you decide. There are lines that support both in the manga, so it is what it is. Just know that Super Saiyajin 2 is a 2x boost from that form. Now we're ready for the most infamous one.
What's that?
Super Saiyajin 3.
The bad one?
Yep. It's most infamous for me for being the full transformation of Dragon Ball Z.
It also doesn't look good, no matter what you say.
Yeah, it only really works on like child bodies. Like I think it looks good on GT Goku and it looks good on Gotenks, but Goku, not really. Same goes for any adult Saiyajin that they give this transformation to in video games.
Oh yeah, don't you get it in Xenoverse 2?
Yeah, you do. Speaking of getting it, the biggest issue with this transformation is that there's no official explanation as to how it works. There's a brief explanation given from Goku to Goten and Trunks in the Buu Saga anime, but this is only filler, and it's just Toy saying some random stuff about pulling power from deep within yourself. Now, I've done a video on the concept where I state that this is the limit the Saiyajin body can achieve, which will work into the series very well, as you'll see in the future. But that being said, the transformation gives an official boost of 4 times that of Super Saiyajin 2, for an overall of 400 times base, again assuming there's no difference between the power of Grade 1 and Grade 4.
That's pretty good.
The transformation, however, has the massive drawback of using
a ton of ki. Yeah. I know that much at least.
Yeah, using the user's, burning through the user's ki quite a bit. Like I said, I expand upon it in the Super Saiyajin 3 is the limit video, which I'll link in the description box below. But yeah, it drains a massive amount of ki, burns directly through your stamina, and as far as we know in Dragon Ball Z, the transformation cannot be mastered. Or at the very least, they show no mastery of it.
Yeah.
This form would likely be good for only a quick fight that you end immediately, but as we know, our heroes are not that slow. Oh, and this form is only achieved by Goku and Gotenks in Dragon Ball. That being said, we can now talk about transformations that are unique to characters, or Saiyajin transformations unique to characters, which leads us to the legendary Super Saiyajin line. Oh, and of course, restricted Super Saiyajin.
What?
Okay, so restricted Super Saiyajin is just the form achieved by Broly when he's under control of his father Paragus. It's just Paragus' technology preventing Broly from completely transforming into a Super Saiyajin, hence the title, Restricted Super Saiyajin.
Oh, that's okay.
And there's no idea how big of a boost this is. I guess if we assume it's Super Saiyajin, it'd be a 50 times boost just being restricted by Paragus' power. Only Broly or anyone being controlled by Paragus can achieve this form, and it's not really noteworthy for anything else.
Nor does it sound useful.
That being said, we move from there to the legendary Super Saiyajin transformation, which is a transformation unique to Broly's biology as the quote-unquote legendary Super Saiyan.
It gives you green hair.
Which is supposed to be a green tint brought on by the aura, but certain interpretations have just made it flat-out green, a hideous green at that. This transformation appears most similar to Grade 3 in appearance, as it gives the user incredible bulk. However, it does not have the drawback of less speed. It actually increases your speed proportionally and gives the user an incredible amount of power. However, it has the drawback of having the user to release their excess ki that they build up.
Oh yeah, that was a thing that happened in the movie.
Yeah, so the power overflows. The common misconception is the fandom is that it allows Broly's power to grow exponentially, when the truth is it just simply allows his power to grow to a cap, which he then has to release. It doesn't actually improve his power. It just means he'd be one of the few characters that has a constantly recharging ki bar, you could say. But then again, it is a cup, so it can overflow, and supposedly this would be damaging to him, but we never see the damaging effects.
I mean, he gets hit by a comet.
Unless you count, him blowing up and surviving as being a drawback.
I mean, like, he lives. I guess that's not much of a drawback.
Yeah, and from there, in the Dragon Ball Heroes and other video games, we see that Broly is also capable of ascending. So there's a legendary Super Saiyajin 2 and a legendary Super Saiyajin 3. Again, the knowledge of how these are achieved is unknown, so we can only presume that they're exactly the same as the previous two.
Alright.
Or the normal versions. And from there, we can move into the Ultimate Transformation, or Mystic Transformation, as it's known among the fandom.
Oh, it's bad. Alright, people are going to hate me for that, but I don't like it.
This is the transformation exclusive to Gohan, brought on by Elder Kai. This transformation is unlocked by having Elder Kai sit in front of a Saiyajin for several hours, depending on their potential amount, and unlocking their power beyond their limits.
And people are going to dispute me on this. It doesn't look good. I don't like the transformation at all.
It is entirely similar to a Saiyajin's base state. In fact, it is exactly the Saiyajin's base state, with the exception that the eyes are closed like a Super Saiyajin transformation would be. And
They also cover them in Vaseline.
And it is achieved the same way as a Super Saiyajin transformation. It has a white aura, and it can be used indefinitely and wastes no stamina, unlike Super Saiyajin transformation before.
I still don't think it looks good.
And
I like the concept.
And it's most similar to Super Saiyajin 3 in that regard. Being that it pushes the user to its uppermost limits, and Victory doesn't like the way it looks.
It doesn't! I don't.
And that being said, we've covered all the Super Saiyan transformations brought on by biology, covered all the Super Saiyan transformations brought on by magic, and now we're covering the Super Saiyan transformations brought on by skill, specifically those given by the gods, or a god, Kaio. So we move into Super Kaioken.
What?
Super Kaioken is a technique used by Goku when he mastered the Super Saiyan transformation and fought against Pikkon and the other world toward him. In this fight, he, for the first time, does something smart and uses the Kaioken on top of his mastered Super Saiyan transformation, which has no stamina drain. Though, to our knowledge, he can only use it up to ×2, giving it an equivalent boost to that of Super Saiyan 2, only being much less effective as Goku can only use it in short bursts like the original Kaioken.
So why would he do that?
Or the burst needed to defeat Pikkon, even though he didn't actually win. It would have been smart if he did it against Cell. His son might not have had to fight. That's another story.
He wanted his son to fight. That's the thing, though.
Yeah. Like your pacifist 9-year-old fight a solar system buster. Goku, good idea. Anyway.
Like, technically he has 2 souls inside of him. Android 17 and 18 souls. Aha. Funny jokes.
Oof.
If only I was speaking up for that.
If only. That being said, this transformation can only be achieved by someone who's mastered Super Saiyajin and then is capable of using the Kaioken with some amount of proficiency. From there, we move on to Gekidama Super Saiyajin, or Genki Super Saiyan, however you want to say it, or Spirit Super Saiyan.
What does it do?
It's basically when a Grade 1 Super Saiyajin absorbs the Gekidama into themselves, increasing their power exponentially to the point where their aura itself is incredibly dangerous to their opponent. Goku uses this form during the fight against Super Android 13, or Super Artificial Human 13, in the Dragon Ball Z film Super Artificial Human number 13.
When else does he use it?
This is the only time this form occurs. Oh, and to go back to the false Super Saiyajin form, it makes a brief reappearance due to a coloring error in the Dragon Ball Z anime, where it appears to be mastered to some degree because Goku can use it at will. The story behind it is that Goku was using the Super Saiyajin form originally, but they wanted to save it and make it a surprise for the first time Pikkon sees it to be when they fight, and as such they had to come up with something new, and they just reused the false Super Saiyajin transformation.
Why?
Well, because they didn't feel like reanimating it, so they just changed its hair color. So this is the first official recolor of Toy.
There's another official recolor coming up.
And that's...
Aha, jokes about Super.
That's in the future. Later videos at a later date. So this has been
So this is an outro. Like, comment, favorite, subscribe, support us, please.
Oh, and that being said, thank you guys once again for getting us over 100 subscribers. As promised, that podcast is coming the moment we have time to do.
And by the moment we have time to do it, the first thing you'll see is a test run, and then sometime after that, you'll get the actual one.
Yeah, I just have to see how the setup is so I can understand what we'll be doing, how I'll be doing it. We'll probably only do the podcast for around an hour. That seems to be the usual thing done. And I think it'd be sufficient time.
Also, because we have lives too, that we need to get stuff done in.
Yeah, so remember to, as Victory said, like, comment, share, favorite, subscribe, all that crap. Get ready for the video after this one, because I promise you it will be much more exciting. I'll be doing the other transformations on my own. Though, by other ones, I just mean the ones from GT. Of course, I'll have Victory alongside me. We'll do the ones in the Super anime, just because they're all so nonsensical.
I don't want to be here for that.
Too bad.
Can I be here for GT instead, please?
We'll see what can happen. We'll see what can happen. That being said,
there's another video I'm hyped for, but that's got to be finished getting edited.
That'll be the next video I edit. There, you said it. I've said it on the record. After this video,
you've said it multiple times.
After this video, I guarantee you, as a man of my word, I will finish editing that video.
You'll try to.
It'll happen. I will spend the entirety of this week after this edit to do it. All right. We dragged this on long enough. Thank you guys for watching. We hope you enjoyed. This is TAF108
and Victory. Hey, this video's not that long.
Signing out. Oh yeah, for all you guys who hate the length of the videos, here's a shorty for you. Later.